We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with map number 2, not map, game number 2. The second winner bracket semi-final is about to happen. Hawk is looking for his opponent, and it's either gonna be WarchiefRich from England or ThomasG from Denmark.
Regardless of who wins here, he's not gonna like it too much. He doesn't like facing those elves who are so strong in Europe. Probably the strongest represented race in Europe would be the Night Elves, and one of them right here, WarchiefRich, was considered the best European player by quite a bit for a long time. That changed slightly, I would say, after WCA 2015, when of course we all remember the fantastic, the marvelous, the miraculous run from Yaws, one of the really greatest moments, honestly, in esports history. And we were, of course, so fortunate to be there. I remember you having watery eyes, not tears running down your cheeks, but watery eyes. It really was
Maybe
beautiful.
there was one single teardrop.
I hope we can have such a beautiful story again for the next WCA. Of course, that is where we are heading here with these WCA qualifiers. We're trying to figure out who is going to be the 2 European representatives to be able to go there. It's not going to be 3 like last year. Last year, only 2. And with WarchiefRich... 4?
Yeah.
I was 4.
Yeah.
Right.
No, 5 what was.
Yeah, it was 2 from the Open and 3 from
the Pro.
the... So we really have been downsized. Jesus.
And North America, man. USA.
Yeah, deservedly so. 2 spots going to the US. And one of the big favorites here has to be Rich.
Exactly. This is him. Richard Studdard, only 23 years old, coming from England, pretty close to London if I'm not mistaken. Of course, the reigning and defending European champion, we will not forget. The epic grand final at Gamescom, where he won against Yaws. This is what you can see here, WCA European Pro Qualifier number 1. His second biggest achievement, I think, Rust Brain Cup number 2, where he ended up in a second place, also a nice little addition. In WCA, the big tournament, he ended up as in the loser bracket around 1 after being defeated by Yaws and 1-0. But he is Mr. Jera Cup. His Jera Cup appearances are absolutely marvelous. 15 wins. And this is not the only thing, man. 49 participations, 8 finals on top of things, 8 semifinals. So whenever he plays a Jera Cup, whenever he plays a European competition, he is the big favorite in this one. His recent results, you said they were not that great, man, but I think it's okay. Jera Cup 69 was the quarterfinal, Jera Cup 70 and 73 semifinals for him. So he's back in shape. Can we say the same thing about ThomasG? I really don't know. Thomas Glinski, he's an old school Night Elf from Denmark, 27 years old, working as an IT consultant at the moment. His biggest achievements are quite some time away. European Nations Championship together with Kiera in 2009. Samsung European Championship in 2010. He won that as well. The ESL Master Series, 3rd place after Grubby and I think Majestic. But yeah, his recent results, quite bad. Jera Cup 62, round of 32. Jera Cup 63, round of 16. Jera Cup 64, round of 64. But the open qualifier was his to take. And here we go.
Alright, it's gonna be the war of the Demon Hunters, obviously. That much is given every time in this matchup. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Every blue moon there is gonna be a Potom, especially when players like Foggies are playing. But this time it's gonna be the double DH. Rich really likes going for his bears. ThomasG, is he the same way? When he was in his prime, we actually saw a very different meta game. We saw lots of Ancients of War and lots of Archers and lots of Nagas. Nowadays, oftentimes we see best of 5s with only bears, but depending on the players, there's also gonna be a lot of talents mixed in.
That's true, but I think Warchief is definitely not the one to bring the talents to the battlefield. And, well, we have seen it from sometimes that he mixes things up. It's quite similar to his change that he made after WCA 2014, where he was Demon Hunter only. In 2015, he adapted his Warden play. Did he adapt to the talent play as well? I've seen some games of his, not as impressive as his bear play, but still fairly good. Amazonia is kind of his hometown. He has probably with Lolaya together the best creeping routes here, but at the moment fairly similar. Both Demon Hunters, of course, level 2. We have a Slippers of Agility for ThomasG. That is quite nice, more damage. And for WarchiefRich, we have the Claws of Attack and 2 Gauntlets of Ogre Strength. So, both Demon Hunters boosted already.
And Warchief opting for the early Hunter's Hall, by the way. Something that especially Sonic, it seems to me, really likes to favor in the early game. Getting a few Huntresses out, maybe 2, maybe 3. 4 would really be a big investment, but like 2, 3, that's the standard. Secure some map control early on, have the better army, try to capitalize from this by getting more experience from more creeps, maybe a few nice items as well. And how is he gonna try to use them right now? Seems like, yeah, for the time being, both players just leave each other alone entirely. And level 3 almost accomplished for ThomasG. I think WarchiefRich's creep route is pretty much perfect, yeah. Very well thought out as he hits level 3 right here. But now it seems to me he has to do something with these Huntresses because his tech is delayed. Once he gets to 50 supply, those Huntresses in the late game are gonna be bad.
This is 6 archers for ThomasG. This is never going to be bears. This is mass range. And especially with WarchiefRich's tech being so late, I can see this push work, man. There's only Huntress. He will get rid of them with ease. Piercing damage is great. The magic damage will be great. We have no Huntress Hall here. The Engine of Wonders is coming up. Tier 2 is finished. We're just waiting for the Engines of Wind.
But actually, if he hits a really early timing, then Warchief might be lucky or might be happy about himself having the Huntresses, because Huntresses are still better than bears without master training. So how early of a timing does the ThomasG really want to hit? Or is it maybe gonna be, by the way, double Ancient of Wind? No, only one Ancient of Wind.
Yeah.
Or is it maybe gonna be something crazy like Hippo Rider? Actually, earlier on today we saw a game on NetEase, or it was in a clan war between A1 and Go, where actually Foggy was playing Hippo Riders. Could this be a strategy? Is ThomasG gonna be going for something that cheesy?
This could be, of course, his chance. He knows the mechanics, the micro, everything. The knowledge of the metagame for WarchiefRich must be better. So what can I do? Come with some cheese. And
we sold the TP, by the way, ThomasG. Big commitment. Sentry Ward scouting, the scouting archer, by the way. And Rich has the money for a second here. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be expensive. It's the Naga, and he loses 1 Huntress for it already. And he really doesn't want too many. He only has 4 units, one of them being gone already. And now the Naga in trouble as well. Does he have his staff? No, he has to transfer the TP. Does do so and uses it right now. The Demon Hunter is low for ThomasG, but he has Moonwells back at home. But that buys more time still.
That's true. He has to get back to get the staffs. I think he's waiting for the first talent. He's not taking to tier 3 yet. So Cyclone will not be a thing. This is just mass damage because, of course, the talents, they also provide Fury Fire, which is -4 armor points. The Naga now being crept up with the Taskmaster here. He has the time to complete this. Replenishment potion is nice, but he has to be aware that WarchiefRich is coming in once again.
Alright, he needs to find some pickups here. The Naga would be great. There is the mana burn. Do we have the Staff of Preservation somewhere soon? The Demon Hunter is coming in and the Staff is ready. Oh my god. There was actually no mana on the DH for the mana burn. Otherwise, that may have been quick enough to get the kill. His own Naga is back with the Staff as well.
Very rare, by the way, to see the Naga from Warchief. Usually, he is down with his best 2 buddies, Demon Hunter and Panda.
I think he really doesn't have the time, though.
No, exactly. And because ThomasG has such a big bio ball, as I think they would in StarCraft say, with archers and talents and stuff, such a big, little, small units, the Panda would, of course, be nice. Not against archers, though. They have Balloon's Grace. They take reduced damage from spells. So the Naga, with the right clicks, is the better option here.
And it's interesting, Rich doesn't go for tier 3. He feels to be under so much pressure. He stays on tier 2, gets more and more Huntresses, but especially as these armies get bigger, the focus fire, it's gonna be overwhelming the Huntresses, I think. It's gonna be 2 volleys for a Huntress, and there's no way that the archers are gonna be falling as quickly. At least that's the way I'm imagining.
There's only 1 Engine of Lore as well for Rich. So he can't go mass Dryads.
And the Dryads, I think, would be a very bad choice, just armor type-wise.
Yeah, well, they're good against Talons, but the Talons are just a support unit here. They're not in for the magic damage. The mass damage dealer are the archers.
Oh, actually, the Scroll of the Beast might not be bad at all.
Yeah, there's no Dispel, obviously. Then the Scroll of the Beast is very good. Nice little staff here, but the staff is on cooldown now. And Snare on the on the Dryad. Nice pickup for ThomasG if he kills her. There you see the damage potential, man. If these archers are firing their shots...
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is looking grim for Warchief.
It is. Maybe the early Huntress tech delaying his tier 3 really was the downfall. Here comes Scroll of the Beast. Now he has to deal a lot of damage. The Demon Hunter is around, has a heal potion. Is he gonna use it or is he gonna use the staff immediately? There's no staff! There's no staff on the Naga for ThomasG. What a big mistake. He transfers it. Does he have the time? Oh my goodness! He actually gets it, but now the Naga for ThomasG might still be in trouble. Ancient of War uprooted. The Ancient of Wonders uprooted. The Demon Hunter coming back in again for Rich. He has healed up a bit, and now Rich finds some pickoffs. So he does repel ThomasG. But that was a close one.
Very smart reaction by Warchief, uprooting their trees and taking them into the fight. And of course the surround of the Demon Hunter was especially key. Demon Hunter is still low. There is one potion on the Naga, but he has to go for it. Mass damage coming from the Huntress. Is there another mana burn? No, it doesn't really take anything here, but everything is dropping low for ThomasG.
I think this is it!
He's still in there, hanging in, but the potion has been used. Demon Hunter is about to drop. No, the stab, but the Naga has...
The block from the archer, the block from the archer, can he keep it up? No, he cannot! Level 4 for Warchief is Demon, and now he might be finding the kill on the first hero. Yes, he does. Warchief holds on and wins that number 1.
This looked really bad for him until ThomasG engaged in this first fight. The reaction of Warchief was absolutely flawless to this.
It was really good. Using the Scroll of the Beast as well, realizing, alright, this is my one timing window. And of course, fortunate for Rich, the staff was on the Demon.
Yeah.
That's a big mistake. The staff has to be on the Naga to get the Demon out.
Yeah, the positioning of the heroes in general was kind of off for ThomasG, I feel. Like, they were always a bit too aggressive. Didn't like that too much. I think the idea behind this was absolutely great, and it was the right approach for ThomasG, but the execution, not so much.
Yeah, for example, if he, let's say he has the Staff of Preservation on the Naga, and he also gets a Tele Staff on the Demon, if he goes for those engagements, goes for some big trades with a lot of focus fire from the archers, then staffs out the Demon low, he heals up from the Moonwells, staffs back in again with the Tele Staff. Of course, that's another 150 gold. Can you really afford to invest that in such a tightly knit build order? I don't know. But if you have it, you are going to benefit from that. But maybe it's a better idea not to get the Tele Staff. But what certainly was a mistake was there being the staff on the Demon and not on the Naga. I think that was what kind of made that push fail. And also, though, we have to say, the Scroll of the Beast, certainly very nice. Is he going to be going for such a push again? Is this ThomasG's mindset? Does he think, I cannot really win a straight-up game? Does this kind of tip his hand? I think it might. He knows WarchiefRich, most likely. He must be somewhat familiar with the scene. Obviously, he has played at least 3 Jera Cups. That's not a good mindset to have, man. If you think, I can't win a straight-up game, I have to kind of cheese him. Last Refuge. This is a map where we've seen a lot of talents compared to all the other matchups, all the other maps we've seen in this matchup.
So the next map is going to be Last Refuge, and that is once again an okay map for talent play. It is.
No.
It really is.
That's what I just said.
Oh.
It's okay.
Sorry, I gotta do a lot of production here with Photoshop and stuff. It's sometimes a bit overwhelming.
I know.
Sorry. But yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
I think bear play is really not an option for ThomasG. What's the third map? Do you have that down?
Nope.
Man, you're the master of the maps. Why didn't you have that?
They didn't write it openly. It wasn't Skype, man. I can't. I'm not a hacker.
Ah, okay, that's true. Oh, so I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Dude, it's okay. I know. I got the easy job here, man. I'm just sitting over here and talking and chilling, and you gotta do all the rest. It's okay if every once in a while you don't listen to me. Well, ThomasG, my big question going into this game was, how strong is he? He was the big question mark for me, and he didn't look weak, don't get me wrong, but I'm not blown away, and I'm like, holy crap, you gotta look out for this guy.
Yeah, you were the one saying that ThomasG has chances here, and I said that's wrong.
Yeah, you said he has no chance, but I said, how can you say? We don't know how good he is.
Okay. Yeah, maybe all the experience helps now. I mean, he's been around for quite some time.
Yeah, he's been a competitive player for a long time.
Yeah.
Also for a long time after he quit Warcraft 3, he played StarCraft at a very high level under the name Cupcake.
Exactly.
Got, I think, about $5,000 of prize money, something like that. That ain't too bad at all. So he knows what it's like to be in these tournaments, in these tough spots. And can he bounce back here? Maybe. But I think we might be seeing two different skill levels of Night Elf Mirror players at least.
Yeah. I really don't have much results of his, obviously. I know that he lost a game against Foggy in the Jera Cup, but apart from that, he won a game against Remind.
But online's online.
This is online.
Yeah, but against Korea, it's like 200 ping versus 200 ping.
Okay. He lost to Czech 0-2, though, in Jera Cup 61. That was his one quarterfinal that he accomplished. But yeah, so maybe it's 50-50. Maybe Remind doesn't really know how to punish those pushes that we just witnessed, and that was his big strength. And Czech, I don't know, I can't recall that really. And he also lost against Lawlight, so quite a few losses against Night Elf actually, recently. Warchief on the other side, super impressive stats against all the other Night Elf players.
Yeah.
16-11 versus Rudin, 21-16 versus Sonic. Who else is in there? 23-13 against Foggy. So he has positive stats versus basically everyone.
Yeah, and
and of course we never forget WCA, his performance in the group stage.
Precisely, just what I want to bring up.
Yeah.
So, although if you guys watched last Jera Cup, there he lost to Sonic in the grand final, 2-3. Still a close one, but he did lose. So he can be defeated. Last Refuge, though, I think this is going to be a map where it's going to be no Huntresses, because you can creep quite a bit with a Demon Hunter solo. You don't need the Huntresses to be applying so much pressure. The creeps don't deal that much damage here. That means Warchief's tech is going to be faster. That means he's quicker going to be getting towards his favorite little toy, which is the teddy bears. And defeating Rich and the Bear Mirror Man is very hard. We can all remember the amazing video by Sonic, how amazing Rich is when he's really on top of his game. I think if Rich is on top of his game, he is the biggest favorite for this entire qualifier.
Yeah.
Do you think he is there? Do you think he is the strongest, he is playing the strongest he can currently?
It's definitely not the strongest Warchief that I ever saw, but it's also not the best Hawk that I ever saw.
No, definitely not.
Foggy, I'm not so sure about him. But I think there are 4 players who are the big favorites for me. That's Hawk, Warchief, Foggy, and Orcworker.
Orcworker?
Yeah, for me it's Orcworker.
I think he's been improving steadily, and I think that's cool to see. Someone who practices a lot, who works hard, trying to get better, and finding those results. I wouldn't consider him personally as one of the favorites, though.
Okay. Well, of course, we have to count yours in, that's for sure. We always have to count yours in. We didn't do that for WCA.
We can never again doubt him.
No. We did that for WCA, and we will never do this again. But it's online, not offline, so yeah. What was my point starting into this argument, by the way? This is not the best Warchief that I ever saw, but it's also, the other favorites are also not in the craziest shape, or the competition at the top level just got more tight.
Yeah, that's something that I would like to say, but honestly, I have to agree with the first statement you made there, that I don't think they're playing necessarily the best we've ever seen him. For example, the GCS qualifier out of Foggy, we saw quite a few mistakes from him that were kind of simple mistakes. He had moments of brilliance, but then he was looking unstable at other points where if he was maybe more confident, more experienced, he would have just gotten the win. But also, if I look across the entire field of European players, there's not this one guy where I would say, man, he's so strong currently. It is really impressive how he's delivering, you know?
Yeah,
I think
no one is dominating the scene like Warchief was when he won 3 JERA Cups in a row, when he won WCA.
This might be the tournament right now to prove for someone that he is the top dog in Europe right now.
Absolutely. Is it going to be ThomasG? Highly doubtful, but he's starting here at last refuge. In the bottom left, both players are going for the Ogre match I spotted at the shop. This is one of the 2 big consumables on this very map that can boost you in the early game. Warchief is doing the exact same thing, and I think it's no surprise to any one of the 1,400 viewers here on the stream that it's going to be a double Demon Hunter.
Sometimes you can try to go for some harassment when you see this greedy creep camp being taken, but it's kind of a gamble. Sometimes it doesn't really do anything and then you waste so much time. Of course, if you steal the last hit, it's fantastic, but it is unreliable. And both players here want to go for the reliable early game. We find 2 potions of healing, so very, very even. Is there going to be a Tome of Experience for one of them? Tome of Agi for ThomasG and for WarchiefRich. This really does make a big difference, because if it's a Tome of Experience and then you take your Ogres, then you're immediately level 3 I mean, but no, it is exactly the same drops on both sides.
Yeah, very interesting though. +4 damage on each Demon Hunter with the Circle and of course the Tomes. 3 Wisps parked here at the shop. Is this pointing towards something?
I think it was just for repair.
Yeah, but is there a follow-up plan? Like, is he going mass range, mass AOW? You lag, by the way.
Yeah.
Alright.
I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily a tell. Just the Wisps being there in position. But we have to keep a lookout for the Archer production. When's it gonna stop? Usually, if he gets more than 4, then it's gonna be the Talons again.
So, Demon Hunter battle here. WarchiefRich with a slight upper hand thanks to 2 archers now. ThomasG is catching up, but still the evasion seems to be working a little better for the guy from the United Kingdom. And now he has to be careful to a degree. But Shadow Melt has been used. Nice little save by ThomasG here. Oh, mana burn, but it's not enough. No boots. These have been stolen by ThomasG, and that's actually a good thing now for him.
Seems like Warchief isn't interested at all at getting the boots immediately. They have a fairly short cooldown, so he can get him at his own shop in like 2 minutes, maybe, something like that. And he doesn't need him for now. He's gonna go for the Ogres, trying to stack up that Demon Hunter.
It is 5 archers for Warchief.
Alright. And we have Tech.
Tech is about the same time.
And no Hunter's Hall.
No Hunter's Hall here, no Hunter's Hall here.
Now there was just a building constructed right outside Warchief's base. That is G1. Yeah, it's gonna be double Talons, Neil.
Oh, mass range maybe. Yeah, of course that points towards a lot of transitions maybe. Towards Dryads or something. Oh, another Demon Hunter battle here. This Demon Hunter is really packing a punch at the moment.
Oh, does he really want to use the greater healing so early? He does. Is ThomasG going to be doing the same? Yes, but the right clicks are pretty damn high. How are the damage rolls and the misses going to be? Yeah, Warchief can win this fight. There's no way. Trying to trade as much as he can, but now maybe unfortunate End's Nest will result in a dead Archer. The Demon Hunter has to be careful as well, but everything for the time being is still alive.
Yeah, the player from Denmark showing why he's in this game, why he's in this tournament, that he can hang with the best, at least to a degree. Once again, Ensnare here, used the dust, so this is a kill for him. Level 2.6 for the Demon Hunter off ThomasG. WarchiefRich a little further ahead, but there is once again Naga Sea Witch for ThomasG.
And again, it's faster. So now he's camping the tavern, so getting the Naga himself might be difficult. But now both Nagas are dropping. Where's the demon? The Demon Hunter left his girlfriend alone, and she will be falling. Can WarchiefRich save her his? No, he cannot. Both Nagas die here, but now might be able to force a TP on the demon as well. But he has the boots, so actually should be finding the kill. There it is, level 3, and he's quick enough to get away as well.
Yeah, very nice that he reached level 3 faster than his opponent. Well, it's only 1 kill, but this is a nice little edge that he has here. Warchief going for the next High Priest. It's always big items like illusions and stuff. And he gets this Neostradamus striking here.
So the early game is slightly better for ThomasG. If I kept count correctly, it was 2 archers killed for ThomasG and 0 by Rich. But 2 archers, of course, is not going to decide the game, most likely. Question is there going to be a tier 3 transition for one of them, a fast one? But probably not. Probably they want to keep it played rather safe for a long time. And also, one big thing to consider, when there's no bears, Moon Juice is going to be a big factor, and ThomasG especially is really low.
Really low on Moon Juice, that's true. The illusions on both sides try to cause a little trouble. This is the safe creep by ThomasG now. He doesn't want to move too far out on the map. We have an Wen of the Wind. This can be very nice for surrounds and stuff. Once again, nice little shadow melt. Warchief sends out another illusion. He wants to have a lot of information on his opponent. Seems like, I don't know, he's not sure what he's up to. Both players are going for 1 Engine of Wind. Lots of scouting going on. No tier 3 tag. They all see this double Engine of Wind by ThomasG now.
Pretty cool to see this old school strategy. I know if you guys saw many of the old replays when we casted the top replays of all time and stuff, there was a legendary one I can still remember between Moon and Remind on Secret Valley, where both players went for Talons and Archers with Naga second, and later on tier 3 with the Tinker. And there's gonna be lots of staffs, lots of Cyclone, lots of Micro. It's going to be up to the mechanics probably who wins this game.
ThomasG on 35 food, late shop, so late staff. Tier 3 tech by Warchief a little later, but he's going for the red spot. And this, in a mirror match where both players are playing the same thing,
this can be so big.
This is really big. Edge and Django of endurance, more attack speed, more movement speed. This is big.
Jackpot has been hit for Rich. We'll be very happy with this. Hilarious Fruit of Accuracy also, of course, one of the big items you can find here, and that is where ThomasG is going right now.
Exactly, the Rock Golem needs some time though, piercing damage, and of course, magic not that great against him, but it's okay, magic damage is good, and here we go. He's going down, Rune Bracers, nah. No, not the lottery. Yeah, most likely be sold. It's okay situationally, but not in this mirror match, I think.
Maybe against Fog Lightning and Mana Burns, kind of, yeah. But there's better stuff. Warchief, is he gonna be hitting the second jackpot with a flute here at his Merc camp? That would be the dream. And if he gets it, then definitely can contest the next red camp. And if that happens, then Warchief has so many of the big spots here already under his belt. And a Tinker might be following suit soon as well. Lots of mercenaries. We see the Lionhorn of Stormwind. That will most likely be sold as well. And it seems like the creeping for Rich is much better. ThomasG seems to be very concerned, very careful. He's just creeping outside of his map, outside of his main, I mean.
I think it's also very uncreative. Yeah. He's just taking one spot after another, lines them up. Yeah. So Warchief, with the way bigger spots now, didn't waste so much time. How does this affect the experience? 4 and 3 for ThomasG. Okay, this is better for ThomasG, but the Engine Django, this makes such a big difference.
I'm surprised now that Rich is taking his lab. I would have thought he would be a little bit more aggressive, trying to take some more big creep camps.
Okay, so the lab has been taken for ThomasG, obviously, so there was a little edge experience. So he catches up easily, and he gets Book of the Dead.
This is really good, man.
Well, if he doesn't pull the Wisps. If he pulls Wisp, of course, it's a crap item, but if he doesn't,
it can also be a proof of Micro. When you see the Wisps coming in, you can split them, maybe. Alright, now both players going towards the middle to the tavern. Maybe the Tinker is in their mind, and there we see it. ThomasG already going immediately into upkeep.
Yeah, he was once again a little faster on his feet here with the Tinker. 8 food advantage because, of course, the third hero. Pocket Factory is amazing with mass range together. The little robots, they explode and they deal guaranteed damage on death or whenever they expire. There you saw the little explosion. There is only 1 Engine of War for Warchief. Afterwards he can, of course, uproot the Engine of Wonders, but there's no backup for him.
Oh, and there's 0 juice, like literally nothing. He needs a Tinker bad. And again, the tavern is being contained by Oh, Dark Ranger.
Ooh. It's okay. You can snowball hard
exactly.
with her.
That's what I wanted to say. You can snowball with her, but if you don't get those mass skeletons out...
Well, there's still silence on the talents. That's okay. They have master, by the way, now.
It's gonna be a while before she's level 2, though, I feel.
Oh, yeah,
Or maybe it's silence first? Could be.
Yeah.
That would be a big surprise. We also have the Book of the Dead, and as long as there is no Wisp here, this is gonna be very, very strong for Rich.
There is wisps, 2 of them. Of course, can be morphed into Engines of War or something if the fight lasts long enough. Here we go. Fork lightning on the talents. He wants to get rid of them immediately. Here's the Book of the Dead. No dispel. Oh god. This is a disaster for ThomasG's talents at the moment.
And we have Dark Arrow, by the way, no silence. Here come the Wisp. They get rid of all of the sounds, but already they have dealt so much damage. How many talents have fallen? And it seems like Rich lost nothing. Now both sides, though, feeling the pain as more and more talents die. The 12 healing would be great for Rich, but he doesn't have it. But he gets the Naga kill. Where was the Invul? Where was the save? Nowhere, because Mass Cyclone is coming out. Another Fog Lightning hitting very well. The talents being focused out so well by the archers, and now it seems like Rich can just pick up the pieces here one after the other. His Naga, if she should get in trouble, still has the TP. The Demon Hunter also in trouble, but he gets the kill on the 3rd hero. And that's the GG, and WarchiefRich in the end makes it look not too hard.
Yeah. Really surprising how these fights seem to be so easy for Warchief. I mean, in game 1, ThomasG had a good early game. In game 2, ThomasG had a good early game. Before this fight started, it looked a lot better for him. He had a slight advantage in supply and stuff, but Warchief just crushed him.
I think again something that goes to show here that became apparent was how well he protects his heroes. Map number 1, having the staff on the Naga, letting the Demon Hunter out in front take so much damage, and then the push basically failing because of this. And map number 2 again lets his Naga fall, and that was almost the end already. The Book of the Dead also being available, being so strong, and that should have been seen by ThomasG like a mile away. He had that item in his inventory for such a long time, and he had Wisps nearby, but not really close enough, you know? When the fight really broke out, he should have had his Wisps on a hotkey, I don't know, 6 or something, and when he knew, alright, the fight's gonna hit, my Wisp should be right behind. But when the fight started, he runs in with a demon, pops the Book of the Dead in the middle of everything, gets 2 talents immediately for free, while the A-click still hit on the skeletons, and then just gets rid of one unit after the other. With the Dark Arrow, he gets more and more and more skeletons. And the Tinker, maybe he should have played it slower with the Tinker, because the Tinker really benefits from levels. If you get him to level 2, 3, maybe 4, these goblins from the Pocket Factory get so strong. But maybe he again felt, I don't really want to go into late game. I don't want to get these big armies where micro becomes more and more important. I have to hit a timing here.
Yeah, I think that
was maybe the Tinker the wrong choice then?
What else would you suggest?
Well, the Dark Ranger. I think Dark Ranger level 2 is a lot stronger than the Tinker level. Dark Ranger level 1 a lot stronger than Tinker level 1.
I would have loved to see, like he had to. Of course, but no. I would have loved to see 2 Engines of War. Like he had the 2 Wisps in the middle of the map the entire time, or 3 Wisps, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
He used one of them to dispel, which was of course necessary against the Book of the Dead, but the 2 other Wisps, he had a lot of time to build them in secret, a little proxy Engine of War stuff, and then move them forward in combination with the Pocket Factory, or then even a Dark Ranger if you don't need the Pocket Factory. You have protection for your units, you have space between everything, so you can't really hit the Fork Lightning that easy. Would have been a little better against the Book of the Dead as well. So that would have been a cool move, but of course that would have resulted in less supply and less army, and maybe there was this back and forth, so I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, of course, going for the 2 Engines of War, but this could have been a little surprising factor.
I think he may have also gotten greedy when he was walking towards the man, and he was like, oh ho ho, you got no moon juice, man, I can see this. Yeah. And then maybe he was, you know, frothing at the mouth, really thinking he could pull this win out of Last Refuge, but Warchief was too solid today, at least for ThomasG.
So the next map is Hawk versus WarchiefRich. We're gonna go into another small break here, and then we are back with 2 of the strongest Warcraft players that Europe has to offer. A never-ending battle. They were called Mr. and Mrs. Jera Cup together because they were dominating European competition, and now they are fighting for the first slot in these finals and the playoffs, of course. See you in a second.